many of the women don't know that they are already entrepreneurs. They're already very good at negotiation. All they need is some digital support. All the handmade items what we are using today, which are the tradition and culture of our country, which are also the future of the country because they're all sustainable products. They boost the local economy. And I can just work towards this dream of creating a living SDG museum of feminine energy.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
It's really uncanny how we met yesterday.
Yeah.
If you can introduce a little bit about yourself.
My name is Sahithi, and I have done my master's in social entrepreneurship. I'm a social entrepreneur, and I've been on a journey of uncovering the stories of women entrepreneurs from mainly the rural parts of India. And in this whole 4 years of journey, it's more like an experiment. I tried to kind of redefine the problem of where women are located, what is how many women are working in the workforce, labor, and how is economy going to be translated using women who are at the bottom of the pyramid. So this was the problem statement, and this is the redefinition that I'm trying to frame up. I'm trying to navigate towards a solution, but I'm not really creating a product. I'm trying to create awareness. I'm an influencer, I'm a storyteller. I'm only giving the hand-holding according to what that woman creator needs. So, and using things like design thinking, sustainable development goals, and my experience in Auroville, Mohanam, Bamboo Center, and all this coming together kind of gives me a better picture about the different palette, the diversity of women, and what kind of products and services can come into the world in terms of how women can create jobs and how women can create value along with economic empowerment. It's not just a social problem, it's an economic problem. Mm-hmm. So this is core of what I'm working on, and I'm taking the sustainable development goals as my base. So whenever I uncover a story, I try to create awareness about the SDGs and try to tell them that you are already working with this goal, but because you don't know that the 17 goals are there and it's from United Nations and you have to align yourself. But these are the ways you can benefit from it or use the goals to kind of be on one platform together. So this is the universe of what I am looking at, and my journey, I've traveled more than 100 villages in the last 4 years. I've not been in one place. I've been relocating myself constantly. And I think I will keep doing that. Yes, that's about me. Mm-hmm. I'm in Auroville from 2 years. Yes.
So how was your experience of, traveling in the villages? Like you said, you don't want to, bring a new product or anything, but you just want to facilitate on whatever is needed at that place.
Yes.
So what do you think has been lacking from your experience of traveling to villages?
One is a common space, like the most simple thing. There's a saying that it's very easy to complicate things. It's very, very, very difficult to simplify things. So if you really look at what is the missing aspect in a village, it's a common space for women creators to come and just chill with each other, talk to each other, like the co-working spaces. Even in cities, we miss that. Where is the ecosystem where you can just walk in as an entrepreneur and feel like, okay, I'm okay. I can meet the right people. I can network with the right people. I will get some facilitation, or if not, just being there will kind of, gravitate you towards co-creation and collaboration. That is the missing aspect, because of education is missing, or education is not really up to MBA. They don't know, many of the women don't know that they are already entrepreneurs. They're already very good at negotiation. All they need is some digital support, and not that you have to create a website or, do digital marketing for them. No, they only need to know how to, like, you take the pictures and give it to them and tell them that you send it to your 100 people who are there on WhatsApp, and this is how you upload on YouTube, and this is how you share the link. So for some women, you don't need to facilitate more than this. if you do, you're killing their creativity. So a common space, whether it's online or on site, or yearly or recurring meetings, events, conferences, or SHGs are not able to do that because the complete agenda of SHGs is different. It's microfinance, skill development, livelihood building. But this is social entrepreneurship, sustainable impact creation, what we are talking about, and trying to, some women, they have everything. They even have revenue coming. They know how to make their pickle, they know how to package it, they know how not to use anything unsustainable because they're already from the village, they don't know what a preservative is. So already it's a very organic product. They know where they're selling, they just need their story to be told. But who is going to go to those villages and uncover the stories, like of the fisherwomen, of the farmers? Because in 50 years, are we really going to have all these fisherwomen, or the farmers, or the tailors, or the weavers, or all the handy, all the handmade items what we are using today, which are the tradition and culture of our country, and which are also the future of the country because they are all sustainable products. They boost the local economy. So women are actually holding lot of power, but many of them are stuck. Many of them are not able to express their idea themselves because they don't have the access to travel, to meet the right people, like-minded people. They don't have the mentorship support. They don't have the digital skills. So in my journey, like when I go, what I'm trying to do is just try to create a diagnosis report for that woman, like a prescription. And for every patient, the prescription will be different. For every person, all our fingerprints are different, right? So every entrepreneur will be different. We cannot have a common streamlined process to produce the number of entrepreneurs. They are not products, they're people. And they're creating solutions for another bunch of people. So there's a lot of emotional quotient required. So in that way, women are more awakened and they're more, they can think in 10 different directions at the same time. They can multitask, they can create, as a woman, they can create. And whenever I'm talking about women, it's not women empowerment, or feminism doesn't translate to empowering women against men. But it is just to bring the dial up from the other side of freedom, of expression, of access to resources and opportunities.
That was, you touched upon feminism. That's what I wanted to ask.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you think feminism is? Is it just getting the women into workforce, or is it something against, trying to match up the masculinity? Because many people get it wrong. What is feminism for you?
Feminism, the word feminine is also there in every man, right? So feminism is all about identifying and embracing that feminine, whether it's in a man or a woman. So that is feminism for me, because I have met amazing men in my life who have a lot of feminine energy in them. And there are so many women who have a lot of male energy, and it doesn't mean that feminism is limited to the appearance. Feminism is, like for me, it is identifying that feminine energy, and sometimes you experience it from a man. So it is all about bringing equality. Goal number 5 doesn't say women empowerment, it says gender equality. And only when I talk about business, access to resources and freedom, I'm trying to bring the women into more light, because they're not able to get out of the house, they're not able to fight back for themselves, their voice is still suppressed in many parts of the country. So at least if they're economically empowered, the family will listen to them. Because everybody needs money, right? So, and especially in the villages, there are limited ways to make money. And when a woman becomes an entrepreneur, and respectfully, if she's able to make money with her skill, she's bringing prosperity home, then her voice will be heard. So that is what I'm trying to do in terms of business. But feminism has nothing to do with women, is what I feel.
So when you say that more the woman comes into the economic activity, the economic economy will grow. What do you think? Is it just the number that the women are going to add to the economy, or there is something different that women can bring to the whole entrepreneurship or the business economy?
Okay, and again, my answer does not really mean that men are not having those qualities, because you asked me about women. What I see and what I'm really confidently saying it out loud is women are very seasoned and better managers because maybe of the EQ, and it's not the same everywhere, and I'm not saying that it is a hard and fast rule, but they're more inclusive. Inclusivity is the problem for our country because for example, if a girl gets a job which only is a night shift, 80% of the women won't even go for that job. And if a man and a woman are getting the same, if you and me go for the same interview and they're offering us the same salary, I will have less probability to negotiate my salary compared to you, because I'll have to think of my security, I'll have to think of what my parents would say, or I'll have to take permission from another 10,000 people, and I'll have to make sure that it is societally okay if I go and work there. For my future, for my, there are so many aspects to making a decision. So it is not the priority for a woman to go and negotiate her salary, but a man will take up a job wherever he gets paid the most. If required, he'll relocate and his family will relocate with him. And I've seen some men doing it for women, but the percentage is very less. I'm talking about the majority, and when I'm talking, I'm mostly representing the rural India. And that in those places that doesn't happen. There what is happening, morning 4 to evening 4, women are working on farm. They are taking care of the kids, they are cooking. But they are not able to contribute to the economy. Like if you take fisherman community, only fishermen are part of the economy. They are registered. Women are the ones who are selling the fish. So nobody cares about them. They're cutting the fish and they're selling the fish, but it's the fisherman who's taking the risk and taking the loan, taking the subsidy, making an FPO and then going into the sea, risking his life, which is also true. So after they bring back, it's done. Those 5-6 hours or 1-2 days of fishing is done. It's her job to sell it, to clean it, to get the money from it, and then give the money for drinking for it, and then get beaten for it. So, these kind of things. These are the aspects which I'm trying to equalize, where the rural women are actually working more than the urban women. But all the working urban women are part of our economy. They're registered somewhere. They're paying taxes or they're drawing a salary. And they have the bank account where, current bank account where they're receiving money. But is it happening with the farmers or the fishermen or the tailors or whoever is in the villages? That's not happening. So imagine if these kind of women who are so enterprising, who have the capacity to work for 12 hours on the farm, how many urban women can do that? Right? So if women are empowered, they'll be better managers, better leaders, more inclusive and more powerful. And we have only 12% women in the parliament. So it'll take many years to reach the 50-50. When the population of India is 50-50, there's 52% men, 48% women. Why are women 12% politicians? So that's where the empowerment is required, and if they're empowered, they'll do much well.
And I also think, I don't know if you have observed this, my point of asking this question was what women can bring in differently other than men's. I think that they bring certain kind of creative energy, and that can completely, they have a different perspective.
That's what I meant by inclusivity. Like they can quickly understand the emotional changes that are happening in the room. They can come and talk to you easily, and you can share more easily with a woman. And even with negotiation, women are so good with negotiation. So there are so many different skills put together which they're actually using in their everyday life, to
And basically they are the creators.
Creators.
So, okay. So how much do you think, since you have looked closely in the villages, patriarchy is still a problem? Is it like we people living in the villages, we may think that we are so good, but do you think there is otherwise the scene is different? Or because I know that people in the villages are also liberal,
Yeah.
So what is your experience of the patriarchal thing?
Patriarchy has always been a very overrated topic, if you ask me, because it's an obvious thing which needs to be accepted, and now we need to accept it and find the solution. We can't fight it, we can't change it, and we can't say that, you know what, I'm going to be an activist and kill patriarchy. Men are also suffering in that patriarchy. Patriarchy means I'll tell you what to do, you do. But to tell that, there's so much pressure for you to bring security and money home. So if a woman wants to take a break, she'll take a break at 45, for example, or at 50, or at 30 also if she wants. But if that, there's more responsibility on a man, societally. And most of the men are suffering because they cannot express, they can't be emotional. Their feminine side is not recognized and embraced properly. And they don't have many outlets. So the only way to survive that monotonous, mundane, expectational life is to have the patriarchy. And in true patriarchy also, you see that women are actually also taking the lead from behind. Decision makers, or controlling the many decisions. So there is a lot of suppression for men in patriarchy. That's what I see. Right? Like how many, I have many male friends who really resonate with feminism, and they're like, we want to empower women. But the truth is, in feminism, women are suffering because it's women only who are making it trouble. The world difficult place for another woman. It's not the man, it's the woman. So I think we need to remove the construct of gender from our heads. Whether it's matriarchy or patriarchy or feminism or men empowerment, it's all the same. It's human to human. We need to just balance that particular human, that particular soul, and every soul will come with a different. Someone will say, I'm suffering in patriarchy. Someone will say that, yeah, it is a patriarchal society, but as a man, I don't know what I'm going through. What do you mean by patriarchy? I'm only making money, coming home, living the same life from 40 years. So that's my view about patriarchy.
I think if we are just compassionate towards life, then all this will, settle down eventually.
Because till the time we keep fighting for, is it men, is it women, is it feminism, is it matriarchy, is it patriarchy, we'll always keep fighting. We just need to love everybody equally.
Coming to, handlooms.
My favorite topic.
So, people say that handlooms are, expensive and all, only certain people can afford it. And also if you look at from the production point of view also, do you think that it is a viable argument that, you can't produce handlooms as much as you need clothes in today's world?
Need is objective. Need is very objective. Whenever we are talking about production, we should also think about consumption. Consumers can't really make a statement that, I buy clothes 4 times in a year, so I think this is my requirement of clothing. No. When you know what's happening to the earth, when you know what's happening to the weavers, when you know what's happening to the cotton seeds, and when someone is trying to tell you that this is what is the reality of a supply chain and it's going to be endangered and extinct one day, you cannot, I as a consumer cannot put my needs first. I need to probably start thinking that where are the existing handloom saris? Every woman has more than 300 saris. Are they going to remain in the cupboards all the time? First, they all should come. Like, we all should, like, in a way, change our mindset and try to assess what our needs are. Like, that's what Auroville taught me. How many clothes do you really need? Like, I only have one pair of chappal, one bag. But there were times in my life, few years back, I had 15 pair of shoes, like a couple of, some 10 bags. And I would just very easily shop. Like, if I want something, I used to buy it easily. Now I'm thinking twice before buying anything. And if I want to wear a sari, I have so many friends and family, I tell them that I want your sari. I have my grandmother's, some 25 saris or 30 saris my grandfather gave me, that, these are all your grandmother's saris, wear them. So definitely it is, if you talk about handloom as a skill and not as a business, first of all, we all should start wearing handloom. We all should start wearing local. We all should. How many of us wear local clothes? How many of us wear handloom? Right? So we need to change as consumers. And when you talk about the production side, it's not enough. It's not enough, because the number of weavers are reducing year by year, and after COVID, I think there's more than 15-20% of drastic, like, shutdown of weaves. Because I was in Andhra Pradesh, I worked in 3 villages. Out of them, one village is called Adivipalam. It's in East Godavari district. I stayed there, like, for a week. And I have gone to every person's house in that village. 150 weavers are there in that village. Just that village, some 150 weavers are there. And I don't think more than 30 or 40 are left now. Like, in these 2 years itself, that's the change. Because there are middlemen. By the time that sari reaches Fab India, or that sari reaches Kalanjali, or some store in Hyderabad, it is 7-8 folds expensive. And here these middlemen are buying on bulk and trying to give them 300-400 rupees per sari, which they sell at 40,000 or sometimes 14,000, 10,000 rupees. They take it for 2K and go. Couple is working 12 hours, 14 hours. Woman is holding, he's weaving. After everything, if it rains, all gone. All gone. If it's more humid, in humidity, heat and cold and rain, the wood will expand and contract. So the weaves are made of wood. And they usually, what they do is sunrise to sunset. That is how all our art was, like farming, fishing, anything, sunrise to sunset. So they don't even need electricity. They're so sustainable. They're not using machine, they're not using electricity, they're not using petrol for anything, and they're creating handmade clothes for you. And they're not having anything in their hand. They're begging for everything. They're struggling to eat. They're struggling to send their children to school. So awareness is important. If the demand increases, the weavers will get back to weaving. If they come to know that these many middlemen won't be there, even we will make good amount of money with respect, they'll get back. They'll start teaching their children how to weave. If they see that there is a futuristic opportunity for them. Now they don't see. They see exploitation. Nothing is being restored. The heritage is being killed and abused. And in that course, I also don't think that they should weave. Why should they weave? Like, would you do it? I will not do it. So why are we expecting them to weave? So it's a consumer problem. As consumers, we all need to change. Weavers will get back.
So whatever you are today and whatever things you do, where do you think this comes to you?
Parents, I think that's the seed, of course. I always had the freedom to express, make mistakes, fail, and learn. So when, as impact scientist, right, so first time I got featured on the newspaper, and my dad reads 5 newspapers in a day. I said, Nana, it was Telangana Today. He said, Telangana Today doesn't come home next time. Come in any of these one papers. Then I got featured on Forbes. Then he came with me to buy the magazine. So I have that equation with him. And my mom also, like, she says so many, personal challenges were there, but when I had to separate from my ex-husband and take the step of divorce and like fight for my dream, not against anyone. He was an amazing person. We were not the right people for each other. But the kind of trust, faith, and support I got from my family and from every person who did was commendable. So that way, whoever I am today, it's the people I met, it's the stories I did, it's every interaction that I, when I travel, if I just meet someone, there have been so many wonderful people whom I didn't know and I ran into, and they're my family now. So like that, I got the feeling of I belong everywhere. And my parents helped me, like they fuel me to feel like I belong to everyone. So they push me that, yeah, you belong to the society. Like my dad always says that you're born for your purpose. Not for me, not for your mom, not for your family, but you're born for everybody. You have a larger purpose, you're a special soul. So he kept on always saying that. My grandmother, my grandfather always kept saying that you should do something for the society. These small things, they really impacted me a lot. I used to live in Bhopal. I used to visit my grandparents in East Godavari for holidays, and there's a place called Pedamalam. That's where my grandmother and grandfather are born. It's on the bank of Godavari River. And every summer holiday from Bhopal, I would just so excited to go and visit that village. And every time we go to a village, Tata will develop the school, help the old people, build a library, develop a PHC, donate something, or, support the teacher's salary. Like sometimes small, sometimes big, sometimes deep. But every time we went there, we created some impact. After going so many times to that place, I studied in Delhi Public School, Bhopal. So I was in sports. My sports coach, I was a skating national level champion. So sports was my life. I thought I'll become a sports woman, but then I thought I'll become a journalist. So in this journey of my national sports, participating, learning, going with a group of people outside, even that was in my 6th class. So since then, I knew how to be with a team, how to be okay if I lose, but how to be sure that I win. These small little things were inculcated by my teachers. Mukta Sharma ma'am, Sakina Naidu ma'am, like these were all Kanchan Sharma ma'am. These are my teachers from my 5th class in Delhi Public School who are still in touch with me, who are there on my LinkedIn, who message me for every important thing, who bless me. I think these are the people who make me, and people like Balu, who's the founder of Bamboo Center, and Mohanam, who co-founded Swaram. He's one of the most impactful people in my life, whom I've been working for the last 2 years. So he's one of the greatest social entrepreneurs and visionaries that I met, who incubated me about what is culture, what is bamboo, and what is rural India in his eyes. It's more beautiful. So what are the local elements, beauty, like the beauty of the little things around, like in Auroville, in so many parts of rural Tamil Nadu that I have explored so much of culture with his help. So he's one of my engines in life, one of the most important people. So I think in this journey, every soul we meet is special. It's an intervention that we internally make that choice, and we reach somewhere and we meet the right people. So it became more like a habit. Like, I don't want to really belong to one place, one person, or one idea. I want to keep transforming, transcending, and shifting the paradigm every now and then to whenever I feel like I'm in a closed box, I know it's that person who walks into your life who'll free you up with that window of a conversation, right? So that way I can't choose that this is the person who created me, but yeah.
So do you, it's amazing that you've been following what you really wanted to do. Do you anytime feel that when you look at your other friends, what they are doing, do you feel, that thing called as FOMO, fear of missing out? Why I'm asking this is because, we go through, especially millennials, we have good intention to do something good for the society, and we even take a step or two, and then we again, speculate, am I going on the right path? And we see something, and then there's this mind always going on. So did you ever, felt ki, is it really, did you have any thoughts like this?
So for me, my personal life and my professional life are not two separate things. It was all about listening to my heart. And that's how Impact Scientist was formed. And that's how I moved to Auroville. And that's how I will do anything in the future as well. It's the fact that I believe it's women and from rural India. The fear of missing out is mostly when I'm by myself, or when I'm feeling that too much solitude, or when I'm stuck in a loop of thoughts, and if I can't come out of there. So these are the things which can consume me for a while, but I don't actually look at, I genuinely don't, like I would not see another man or a woman and feel like they're doing something and I also need to catch up. I never would feel like that, because as I told you, we are all different people. And yeah, maybe a few years back, there was more restlessness that I need to do 100 things. I need to achieve this, I need this identity. But it was not based on what other people are doing. It is always based on me. Like, if I'm not happy, I'm restless. If I'm not satisfied, if I'm not in the right place, I don't feel right. But it doesn't have anything to do with other people, because I love every person. And as an entrepreneur, like, because I'm doing so many stories, like if I have the fear of missing out, I'll have it with you also, because you're a storyteller, you're interviewing social entrepreneurs. But I was so happy because I know that people like you and me are not enough. We need another 1 lakh people to do the stories of 134 crore people in India, right? So that's where we need to cut across competition, which is so small, and it makes our mind very small. And if somebody is trying, if somebody can exactly replicate what you're creating, it means your idea is not good enough. Or it means you've created a great leader. You've motivated someone so well that they can do something as good as you. You're a creator. Or let it go. It has nothing to... Two people should never compete with each other. If possible, they can co-create and collaborate with each other and communicate with each other.
Nice. So, what is your current state of being,
Current state of being? I'm in Bamboo Center.
In the sense, personally, what's going on in your head? How are you looking at the future, your work-wise? How do you, plan things?
I see a future where there's a living lab created by women creators, women travelers, women creators, women artists, women politicians, women movie makers, and men who resonate with all these people, and So I think now this is the dream, that I want to create this SDG lab for women, which is like a living museum of feminine energy. So that's the dream I see. And personally, professionally, emotionally, spiritually, I am only aligned to that one dream. I think I don't care about anything else. And this is the present, this is the future. Because that's what I'm working on now. And that should translate into what I'm telling for the future dream. And for this, I need to travel. I need to be strong. I need to have the courage. And on the days that I feel like I'm not okay, I should be okay. And at one point, just love everything so that you don't feel that anything is wrong with you. So like the only way I found my survival instinct is to not give in to the situation and just go through it and realize my true power, my true purpose, and not really put pressure on any other being to give you the kind of joy you're looking for in life. Because no one can give you, only you yourself can give. And once I feel complete, whoever is around me, I can give. Right? So I think I feel more comfortable in that sphere rather than being on the other side. And there are people on both the ends, and there are people who can balance both those things. But I think I want to be on this side. Like, I want to be so happy, so fulfilled, and so satisfied, and so selfless that I don't expect anything from anyone. And I can just work towards this dream of creating a living SDG museum of feminine energy.
So what do you think, from where can you get this fulfillment? Because you said that you want to do this lab and SDG, but after a point, as you grow, even that might seem like, something, that has not fulfilled you. So how are you, do you have any specific path that you are trying to follow in your course of, being fulfilled, complete?
I think the fulfillment is not directly related to the dream. It is already the state of mind which we have while aspiring towards the dream. Then only the output of the dream and the quality of that thing what we are creating will be beautiful and divine. For which, like what I shared with you, that I need to be perfect. So that fulfillment will come with if I wear the kind of clothes which I like, which are sustainable, and if I eat something healthy, if I do everything that my heart says, if I respect and love everyone around me, if I'm not competing and I'm just collaborating and creating, the sense of unity and community amongst people, and if I am feeding many animals, if I'm in touch with the 5 elements, if I meditate for some time in a day, if I cook for other people, if I travel with my friends, if I take amazing stories, if I can click interesting pictures, these are the things which fulfill me. If I meet my parents, or sometimes doing something that I don't even know. So these are the things that fulfill me. I'm already trying to redefine in my head at least the fact that fulfillment will come from somewhere outside you. Because everything is a reflection of you. Like if you are talking to a person, if you talk with something in your mind, if you're going with a preconceived notion, that person is going to exactly reflect what you're mirroring. So we are like just a mirror, right? Like I went to Tiruvannamalai. What Ramana Maharshi says is, you are just a mirror. You'll see what you reflect. So every being, like if you go near a dog and if you are scared, they can smell that you're scared. They'll scare you more. If you go with full confidence and try to pet, it'll wag its tail and say hello to you. So it's all about with what mindset you're going to interact with a non-living thing, a living thing, or just anything outside you. How you approach it will come back to you. And how you approach depends on how happy you are, how much aware you are about yourself. This is what I got in the last few months.
I think there's a bit of contradiction there, that on one way you're saying that if I do this, and that is where from I get my fulfillment. So one way you're saying is that I depend on the external situations for my fulfillment. But
external situations?
External things or external world maybe.
I said we cannot depend on the external world. It depends on how we react with the world. If we react nicely, the world will react nicely. So you're fulfilled.
Okay. So meaning that if you are already contained and fulfilled, then that is how it will pass on.
Exactly. So I don't want money, I don't want power. I want to live a good life. I want to live a happy life. I want to be able to afford my joys. But I don't have a craving for power. I don't want to, you know, destroy anything. So once your dream becomes greed, you'll never be fulfilled. But now I'm already fulfilled. I'm already very happy that I'm blessed with the power, with the courage to take the steps towards what I want to do. So I'm trying to make those few changes, slowly trying to identify what makes me happy, what doesn't make me happy. If something is not making me happy, I'm trying to, move away from that situation or that atmosphere. So in that way, external things are also us. That's what I meant to say. Everything else is also us. The way we treat will give us fulfillment. If we are not contained, we'll always approach the other person with an expectation or with a need. If we don't have that, you'll be so happy to have that conversation and you'll be fulfilled. You'll come, you'll eat your food, it'll digest well, you can sleep well. So you're contained, right? Your sleep is good, your hunger is good, your health is good because you're happy. Because you're not doing anything against your will. That makes you sick. If you're psychologically sick, it makes your body sick.
Let's talk a little bit about your spiritual journey.
I think this last question I felt like yeah.
So can you identify that, somewhere that I feel that once you become spiritual, you inherently, feel compassionate towards life in general, and then you see that if something is not working, you try to, do whatever you can do. So has spirituality given you this, working towards society? And personally, what other things that you do apart from what you do spiritually for your spiritual growth? Any path you're following, any guru you're following, or, and how has been the experience so far? And what spirituality can add to any person?
I think I have very less experience. I'm like a baby in this area. So my answers are not the only answer. I can just share my experience of...
And also spiritual can mean different things to different people.
Exactly. For me, spiritualism is being one. What we just spoke, like being one with everything, respecting everything, respecting everyone. All gurus are trying to tell you the same thing, that everything is inside you. Whether it's Ramana Maharshi, Sadhguru, Osho, anyone, anybody they are just trying to write their life experience and trying to navigate you towards liberation, to find happiness. It could be through inner engineering, it could be through gardening, by volunteering, by cooking food for people, by, like in Auroville, at least you have the luxury that you can walk without chappal. Like in Hyderabad, if you do, you'll be infected because of the dirt and pollution. But in Auroville, many times I don't wear chappal. Right now I'm house sitting for a friend. She has 9 cats, 2 dogs, and now one dog gave 6 puppies. So I'm almost like feeding 15, 17 animals in a day. Interacting with them is so spiritual. Like that is spiritual for me because they are communicating with me. Like I know which one will come first, which one will come later, who will do internal politics between each other, who has ego issues with that cat and this cat has some personality problem. So for me that's bliss. They get hungry, they come to me, they know that they have to ask me. They trust me that I'll feed them. So even that trust which the animals are showing towards me is so spiritual for me. They don't have any religion or guru. But I'm so happy that like you spoke about Sadhguru, right? Like he's trying to bring the real elements like say the soil, water, the Isha products, for example, all are sustainable products, the handloom products or the wellness products, and a space for people to come and feel that, okay, this is where I can leave everything and I can just focus on my inner growth. So we need more places like that. Auroville is such a place, right? Like I came here 2.5 years ago and I lived in more than 12-13 houses. I lived even in Bamboo Center. So it was a great experience living in Bamboo, like, because before that I never lived in a place where the walls could breathe. But here the walls could breathe.
It's a very nice way to put it.
Yeah, the walls could breathe, and I like, a snake fell on me, and then, you know, many people, I kept sharing, there was fear in the beginning, I was terrified, and then people normalized it. Now if I see a snake, like, okay, it's a snake, it won't do anything. And then, okay, snake, skin, rebirth, beginning, power, you know, so many things you can just learn from a snake. If you want to look at it that way, if you look at it with like, okay, oh my God, I'm scared of a snake, it'll be fear in your head. But if you see a snake and you feel like, because it's me, I could spot a snake, because the snake and me are having the same energy, we want to transform. So it is the thoughts which are in our mind, it is the people that we meet, it is our treatment towards other beings, it is the food we eat, the products we use, the way we respect everyone, and how united we are is the true spirituality for me. It is not one person or it is not one place, it is true spirituality. And also Balu, again, he's one. I knew all these things, but I didn't know how can spirituality be defined, or how healing can be considered, or how Indian culture is already so much in line with yoga or meditation or spirituality and nature. Spirituality is nothing but nature. Our interaction with the nature, our relationship with the nature. So how much we respect the nature, right? So Indian culture is always already ready. It's there. We just need to go back to our villages. Spirituality is there. Sustainability is there. Social entrepreneurs are there. Equality is there.
So this is my first time in Auroville, and I felt like only if the whole world could be like this.
But if you live in Auroville for another, you know, every place you live in will have pros and cons.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask, like, what has been your experience? I know there will be challenges everywhere, but still keeping the challenges
apart,
aside.
Yes.
And, how do you see Auroville and that vision the mother had and what it is now? And I also feel like, you know, if you look at it, we have different communities here, like, you know, even if you go to a village, each one of them would be doing the same, their own unique thing. But only that thing is that, you know, we don't brand it in that way so that it becomes exciting for others. So if you think, do you think, what have you learned from Auroville, and what has been your experience, and how can this be, you know, this vision can be applied somewhere else?
Auroville is the most terrific, amazing, the most impactful thing that happened to me in my life, like after my masters. This beautiful town with people from more than 100 countries, and the dream of unity. Again, Mother, Aurobindo, the core, the center of what they have spoken is to be united, to have community, to come together, to let go of the differences, to find your true self and unite with everyone. Don't divide yourself. So that is Auroville. And many beautiful souls came together, they listened to their heart, they identified their passion, and organizations like Bamboo Center, Mohanam came up. Because these people with different stories who became the Auroville citizens, they in order to fulfill that dream of unity or, sustainability and bridging the past and future, bridging the local to global, getting more sustainable architecture, more usable designs, like, innovative and, user-friendly designs, like so many creative interventions or agri-related interventions. These are the things which everything you see in Auroville will be 100% conscious. Like the products and the skills and the services that you experience, it's because people had the chance to, compared to the outside world, the atmosphere, the way things are, it gives you more channels to explore and find your true self. So that way, whether it's therapies, whether it's the food, the way of living, the silence, or the kind of people who come here and the kind of people who are already staying here, there are 800 units in Auroville. And 800 units means 800 micro, macro, medium organizations which either create an impact or something commercial. And imagine all these are sustainable enterprises. So if you need to find 800 sustainable enterprises in one place, where else on earth will you find it? So as you said, if you just keep the challenges will be there everywhere. But that's the beauty of Auroville. Like, it's open for everyone. There's no age, there's no gender, there's no religion, there's no one lighthouse to follow. Everyone is their own self. And there's so many group activities, community events, like there are more chances for you to run into each other more. So it is like a family of thousands of people trying to live together, trying to make a world a better place. While there is a lot of challenge, and the challenge is for growth. I believe that every time an economy or a place or a company faces a challenge, it means there is a requirement for change. So change could be good or bad, but the change is important. So the change will be everywhere. But Auroville and its core value systems are very liberating. It will free every person to, like the vision of Mohanam says, unlocking the full potential. And connecting the local to global and reconnecting the locals to their own traditional knowledge. This is the vision of Mohanam. And it is a reflection of what Mother said, what Aurobindo said, and the value system, the morale of Auroville. So Auroville is a feeling, Auroville is an experience, and Auroville is very objective to every person who experiences it. Like, some people come here for only 1 hour to have lunch and leave. Some people come here for 1 week like me, but who stay back for 2.5 years. And some people come here for a few years, and everyone interacts and works and discovers themselves in Auroville in their own way, at their own pace, in their own style. And that's the beauty, right? All people are different. So every different person should be able to find their true self here. And I think out of all the places that I have traveled in the world, Auroville remains one of the most special, unique, and it's the most divine thing that has ever happened to me.
Amazing. Anything else you want to add?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having this wonderful conversation with me, and it was really nice to meet you the way we met yesterday. And I'm really waiting for this interview because we spoke a lot of interesting things, and your questions were amazing. And all the best for the work you're doing, and in whichever way I can support or collaborate, please let me know.
Thank you so much. Keep doing whatever you're doing and keep inspiring many more people. I hope this will impact a lot of people and you get where you have to. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So a little bit about me, so that who's this guy randomly coming. So I come from Hyderabad. I studied BA Honours Film Production, and I got into filmmaking because I feel that film and video is one medium through which you can make the impact at large scale, and that's why I got into films. And I studied in Delhi for a couple of years. As the third year I went to UK.
Okay.
And then after coming back, I did some work in Mumbai.
Okay.
And then while I was working there, you know, I didn't really get what I really wanted. So I came back to Hyderabad back and started freelancing, doing some documentaries. And that's when I got to know about Isha Foundation and Sadhguru.
Okay.
And then I did some programs, and then I had that calling of, you know, going and staying in the ashram. So I went there. I lived there for 1.5 years, and I was in the video department there.
Okay.
So traveled with Sadhguru, and you know,
Nice.
Involved in all the outreach projects.
Okay.
And then I had to come back to Hyderabad again because of my father was not doing well.
Okay.
So I came back and, you know, started my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And you know, started working also. And yeah, this is my side hustle where I interview social entrepreneurs, people like you who are doing something good for the society.
Okay.
And through this, I want to reach people who are, you know, involved in this kind of things, and you know, build a strong community where, like, you know, people like you who would need more people, you know, to join hands, and you know, wherever you go and, you know, help around. So I want this to be a platform where like-minded people can come together and, you know, do some actionable work on the ground, not just talk.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.